In the quiet, upscale neighborhood of Benton Hills in Tallahassee, Florida, a shocking crime shattered the peace. It was the morning of Friday, July 18th, 2014, and FSU law professor Dan Markel had just pulled into his garage. Before Dan could even turn his car off, a stranger approached the driver's side window. Dan looked up to see the barrel of a weapon pointed straight at him. The stranger unleashed 2 shots. One went through Dan's cheek. The other pierced the area between his eyes and lodged in his brain. Dan died 14 hours later at the hospital. So far, 5 people are behind bars for their roles in the plot to unalive Dan Markel. The 2 hired hitmen, Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera, Dan's former brother-in-law, Charlie Adelson, Charlie's former girlfriend, who is also Sigfredo Garcia's baby mama, Catherine McBanawa, and Dan's former mother-in-law, Donna Adelson. Now, all eyes are focused on the one person who gained the most from Dan Markel's death, his ex-wife and the mother of his 2 children, Wendi Adelson. Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. Do me a favor, smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. Those are 2 free ways you can help your girl. Many people believe that Wendi was also involved in Dan Markel's unaliving, but it must be said that Wendi has yet to be charged with any crime in connection to Dan's death, so she is currently presumed innocent. Wendi's mother, Donna, has often been referred to as the puppet master behind Markel's death. And while I share that view, I believe there was perhaps a second puppet master, and for me, that person is Wendi Adelson. This is just my opinion and pure speculation. Wendi is, after all, a lawyer. I just rewatched Wendi's 5-hour-plus interview with the Tallahassee PD on the day of the crime, July 18th, 2014. During the interview, Wendi asked that the police contact her friend Jane and have her come down to the station for support. At some point after Jane arrives, Wendi asks her who would do this, as in who would unalive Dan. And it's not long before Jane mentions Wendi's former boyfriend, Jeffrey Lacasse. Jane mentions that Jeff is a jealous guy who has been stressed out by Wendi's divorce and by Dan Markel's many legal motions against Wendi. Next, Wendi mentions how she and Jane took a walk earlier in the week during which she and Jane discussed Jeff and Jeff's jealousy. Everything in this interview room at that point starts to look a tad choreographed to me. We know that Jeffrey Lacasse believes that Wendi may have set him up to look like the perpetrator of Dan's murder. We know Jeff Lacasse believes that Wendi may have set him up to look like the perpetrator of Dan's murder. Jeff told the cops that after the crime, the magic spell that Wendi seemed to have over him began to lift, and suddenly he was able to look at events that happened earlier in the week Danny was shot began to become clearer. Wendi had asked Jeff for some distance in the relationship and for him not to contact her for a number of days. After a yoga class that Wendi and Jeff took that week, as they were heading to their separate cars, Wendi asked Jeff a whole bunch of questions about a road trip he was going to be taking that weekend. Jeff was supposed to leave Friday morning, the same morning that Dan Markel was shot, and the route Jeff would have been driving that day was the same route that the hitmen drove when leaving the crime scene. Also, the time when the hitmen departed Dan Markel's driveway, which was right around 11 a.m., would have been the same time Jeff was planning to leave town. In addition, Jeff's vehicle looks almost identical to the silver pine mica Prius that the hitmen were driving. Now, Jeffrey Lacasse is a very clever man. In fact, he basically solved the crime mere days after Dan's death when he was being interviewed by the Tallahassee PD. Jeff told the detectives that if he were them, he'd be looking into Wendi's brother, Charlie Adelson. Jeff pointed out that Charlie, 1, hated Dan, 2, that Charlie had friends from both sides of the track, 3, that Charlie had a lot of money, 4, that Wendi had told him, Jeff, that Charlie had looked into all options for solving the Dan Markel problem, including hiring a hitman. So, in my opinion, Jeffrey Lacasse has a very analytical mind and a very good memory. He's excellent at putting puzzle pieces together. So when Jeff says he thinks it's possible Wendi was setting him up to be the patsy for the crime, I tend to agree. I also want to point out what Jeff's own therapist told him about Wendi after Jeff had sought counseling about his troubled relationship. The therapist thought that Wendi could be a sociopath. Jeff also said that she was a pathological liar. So for me, I see Wendi Adelson as a potential second puppet master in Dan Markel's death. I mean, who else would have given Donna the information about the make and model and license plate of Dan Markel's vehicle? Remember, Donna had that information jotted down in her day planner for 2014. At that point, Wendi and Dan had already been divorced for 2 years. So why is Donna jotting that info down in her day planner? And again, who would have told her all of that? Now I'm going to play some segments of both Wendi and Jeff Lacasse's interviews with the Tallahassee police. I want you to see how I think Wendi set up her friend Jane without Jane really realizing it, so that Jane would be the person to bring up Jeffrey Lacasse's name as a potential perpetrator of the crime. You will see how Wendi and Jane went for a walk earlier in the week, during which Wendi discussed her relationship with Jeff.
Are things on the news?
It is on the news, but I don't know anything. I know there was a shooting in Danny's block this morning. That's all I know.
That's all I know.
Oh dear, honey. You know how he is?
He's not good, Jane.
Really? Holy moly.
I was driving up the street and I saw like the tape and I just thought, oh, maybe there's like an electrical outage or something. Like I saw the street blocked.
So I
was driving into town. I was running errands, I was meeting some friends for lunch, and I drove up Trescott because it's the shortcut. And so I drive up Trescott and I see the tape and I was like, I guess there was like an electrical outage because sometimes we'd have trees that would fall or whatever. And so I turned around and didn't think anything of it. I was at lunch with 2 friends and the officer shows up. And I've been here since then.
And you don't have a phone?
Well, I had a phone. I gave them, I said you can search my phone because maybe they can like find something useful on it.
We have to go through a lot of these steps, and as I was explaining to her, it's just as much effort to go through the steps to exclude anybody that could possibly be involved.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So we have her phone. As soon as it's taking a little bit longer than normal, and as soon as we get done with the phone, she'll get it back. So the main thing I was concerned about is the kids need to be picked up on Friday.
Right. And so when I came and they said they'd spoken to the Grossmans, I was like, I'll get the kids. I'm a social worker. I've picked up kids that don't know me before, but I think especially given this.
I gave them your name and Lynn's name and said, I think like Alan and Lynn have done it. Like when Danny had his back surgery, Alan and Lynn did it before, so because I was out of town,
and
so
like
they've done it before, and they've got 4 kids, so they can.
I have, are you going to be here for a while? You want me to sit? So, like, I might have a blanket in my car or something.
Do we have anything here, or have they all been used?
Somebody who could get
Let me check.
This woman is freezing.
And I apologize. I thought about that when she was shivering earlier, but I guess got a lot of stuff going on.
No, clearly there's a.
Not really the most important thing right
It's not the most important thing.
No. I saw her shivering, and I kept thinking I'll go out and find out if there's. They had a bunch of them. They had a bunch of them, but I don't know what's still available.
So what do you mean he's not good? What do you know about this?
I don't think he's gonna make it.
Oh my God. Really? know.
Let's put that on.
That would be great. Thank you.
Thanks.
You really know that? You know that?
What's that? I'm sorry.
You know that they don't think he's gonna make it through this? Oh, really?
He's not gonna make it.
And he's a TMH right now?
Mm.
And I was asking because I thought maybe he would, and I wanted
Right.
I wanted the kids to be
Yes.
with him if he wasn't
Okay.
going.
Okay. Oh, God. And he has family and stuff at the hospital or something?
They don't have any family here in
No, it's-
Canada.
Right, I know, but I mean,
There's no family here.
They don't.
girlfriend, anybody come down? Nothing?
Amy, I don't know if Amy knows yet. I don't have Amy's phone number.
Amy's on
Oh.
Facebook.
I'll contact her later.
She's on Facebook. I mean, she can be found.
Yeah. I was thinking of one more thing. This is really tangential, but his friend I told you about, Matt Price,
Okay.
his wife's brother was killed. So if you're going to call someone first, Matt's going to lose it. So
I don't intend on calling Matt. I just
Okay.
need to have the background on different associates and friends and so
Right.
Yeah.
forth. You know, my objective is to find out who did this. So, based on what you've told me, I'm going to take that information, compile it with other information that other investigators have worked on, and we'll see where it leads.
okay.
Now, I'm not saying anybody that you told me about is any way involved.
Is there
I
any
don't
sign
know.
of stuff being stolen from the house?
I can't discuss that.
Okay.
So,
But you are discussing that you don't think he's going to live. I mean, like,
I'm telling you a fact that I know he's not going to live. He's not going to live. Okay. So,
is he dead now?
well, I already discussed that with her. He has enough injury that's traumatic enough that he's not going to be able to recover from it.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
What? Did Lynn already go get the boys?
Yeah.
What's happening right now is Lynn's on her way here. She doesn't have car seats.
Uh,
Gonna take the car seats out of your van, put them in Lynn's vehicle, and she's gonna go directly to Creative Preschool,
she has a key to my house, so she can.
pick up the kids. If I get a chance to, when she arrives, I will talk to her briefly and basically tell her, you know, let's wait on discussing anything with the children.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would do that anyway.
Yeah. I wonder if it would be better if she didn't know. Like if you.
It's,
That's
I mean,
Just so
here's-
that because she's gonna be done. Like, what if she can't then drive and go get the boys? Like,
Okay, but let me just say to you, I didn't know anything when I came here. So my husband Googles and says there was a shooting on Trescott Drive this morning at 11.
I got a call from
So-
my real estate agent who heard something.
So I know that I didn't know why I was coming here, but anybody with more sense would have known that.
John told you that
Yes.
when you told him you were coming here. Or?
No, they found John. Interestingly, they found John's cell phone number.
They found me eating lunch. I don't know how that happened. I'm fascinated still.
And
We have ways of finding
yeah, it's interesting. So they called my husband's cell phone, and he was like, here she is. Talk to her, and they said you needed me at the police department, so I came.
Right.
It was not a.
What did you think I needed you for?
I wasn't thinking it was good news, but I didn't. My thought was that Danny had probably assaulted you. That was my thought.
I think that was Lisa's thought when she's like, I heard there was a shot on Trescott,
So-
and so I hope you're okay.
So
The
that.
realtor.
Yeah.
So that was my, but this scenario, which is now not seeming real to me,
Yeah,
didn't
well, me
seem
neither.
like was not what I
Me neither.
what I
but
thought of.
I just keep picturing the kids.
Right. No. So there's no point in doing that. Don't do that. So
when Lynn gets here, I'm going to just ask her to take the kids to her house. Would that be
instead of my house?
I think that's much better.
Reasonable?
Is that better? She has a TV. They can watch TV.
I know, but they've been there before.
A bunch.
Yeah,
they're very comfortable there.
Do they have children of their own?
They've got 4 kids. They're grown, but
take them there.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
I'm going to go make sure that I don't miss her.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lynn Grossman, right?
Mm-hmm. This is Sarah, by the way.
Hi, Sarah. Are you a victim advocate?
I am.
I said you used to be a victim advocate. Was I
That's
right?
not true. Yeah, I've done lots of stuff like that.
I recognized your name, and then she explained.
What's your last name?
Latour. I've only been here about 2.5 years.
I am losing my shit.
Well, that would be appropriate. I think you should do that. I think if you don't do that, that's
Jane,
not right.
who would have done this?
I have just
And
one
are they
idea.
going to come after my kids? Or me? Who's next?
Is Jeff this much of a lunatic?
I didn't even think of Jeff. I hope to God not.
Let me ask who Jeff is.
Yeah, of course.
I think you should. I think Wendy's been seeing a guy called Jeff.
Who's a friend of Jane's. And
who's jealous.
yeah.
Are you still currently seeing him, or just something you kind of let taper off?
It's been a bad week.
Okay.
Yeah, Jane and I actually went for a walk together Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, earlier this week.
But you've taken a 1 week break from
I took
Jeff.
a 1 week break from communication with Jeff to figure out what to do.
Okay.
Because we've been dating for like
A year.
9 months, like 10 months a year.
And when you use the word dating to you, is that's my boyfriend, or is it more of just dating,
Yes.
like the casual? Okay.
Yeah.
No, like, he was my boyfriend and involved with the kids, and I mean, yeah. And we had kind of a fight recently, and he's been trying to get back together, and I didn't know if I wanted to, and so he actually, the morning that I gave that talk, my boys were there and Jeff was watching them, so I could give the talk. Like he's, Jane, do you think I have to tell them about him?
I think
guess?
you have to tell them about him, because that is the only,
God forbid.
the only thing that I can imagine related to you, related to Danny, would be
The only
Jeff.
thing I could come up with was
Okay, a couple other things. I've been seeing a therapist since about, I don't have any major mental health problems, but just to try to deal with Wendy, I was seeing my therapist I used to see when I was going through my divorce. So I was thinking about what we talked about in there. I mean, I've spent like $2,000 on therapy trying to figure out how to deal with Wendy. She's been really hard to handle. And I realized I never put it together, but he for months has been concerned that she's a sociopath. And I didn't tell you guys that before. I still love Wendy. I was under her spell. If she called me tomorrow, I'd probably go back to her. But there's a lot of stuff that, as I look back, is really strange. Just to give you a couple examples. Well, I guess one of the things I worry about is Wendy has this public persona. And she's a very good actress, and she's very charismatic and all this kind of stuff. And she knows a lot of people, you know, everybody in Tallahassee knows Wendy. You probably discovered that already. I mean, she's in every social circle, you know, she's very social butterfly-esque and out there and stuff. But in terms of people that know her intimately, have spent like a lot of time with her and seen behind the curtain, you know, I think it's Markel, me, and maybe that SAC guy in the last 12, 13 years. I mean, she doesn't, you know what I mean? So some of the stuff I had seen was pretty crazy stuff. I mean, no sense of guilt, no empathy, hypersensitivity to criticism. When I said, hey, you cheated, I mean, that's fucked up. She would not apologize. She would not say she felt bad. She would not say she made a mistake. She's a total pathological liar, and I feel bad saying all this because I still love her. She has these flaws, and I would have stayed with her. But if you look back at Markel's legal documents, he's constantly talking about her systematic pattern of deception, how she lies all the time. And she told me once, I have a really hard time telling the truth when it's inconvenient or unpleasant. I lie all the time. I mean, she said that to me. So I never would have thought that when she didn't pull the trigger or anything like that. But the more I thought about it, how much I was manipulated, and how much of a spell I was under, and all that kind of stuff, I feel kind of creeped out right now that, I don't know if she's a suspect or not, the paper says she isn't, But as an accessory, it makes a lot of sense to me at a certain point. So, and I don't know that many people that know her that well. Mm-hmm. When you see behind the curtain, she's a total train wreck. My psychologist was saying, man, she just meets the checklist of a narcissistic sociopath. You go down the list. So, obviously, she's already a person of interest and all that kind of stuff. But I thought you should know that I'm a mental health myself.
Right.
So I never saw that when I was under the spell. But I've had people trying to convince me for 3 or 4 months you're dating someone who has real severe sociopathic tendencies.
Right.
So high functioning and attractive, but still, that.
Yeah.
So that's something I just thought I should tell you.
Sure.
Well, I just noticed that Markel, everybody's told me what a nice guy Markel is, and I thought he was Satan, because in our household, I mean, he's a psychopathic, stalking, emotionally abusive, controlling jerk. That's how Wendi thinks of him. Now I know.
And that's her assessment of him.
Yes.
Do you have the same assessment of him?
I did when I was with her, because I didn't know. I just believed her.
Right.
But no one else has. What I hear from everybody else is he's an arrogant dick. As far as academic, there's a lot of professors that are arrogant.
Sure.
But he's a good man. That's what I hear people saying. He was a good father. He was a good man, and he was really upset with Wendi. Starting to understand why. I mean, there's some timing things here. I hope this is all wrong and you find some disgruntled student that shot him. I want Wendi and her kids to have a good life in South Florida. I still love them. I still care about them. I miss them. I'm pretty heartbroken over all this. But if you want information, I had some things to say. So we have this big fight in Gainesville. And I really confronted her. I'm really hard on her. I'm pissed because I feel like I've been conned because she's been calling me her boyfriend and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know exactly what the relationship was with Zach, but I found out enough that it was very clear that she was busted, that she was juggling 2 guys in some form or fashion. I don't know the details. I got the impression I was boyfriend number 2 is why I was pissed. I mean, there's no picture on the Facebook page. I noticed there wasn't even a picture of me in her house. And that's when I got really, really upset. I was like, come on, we've been dating 9 months. This is bizarre, So I had it out with her in Gainesville. And then she went to South Florida for 14 days. The whole time she's down there, she's miserable and not that available. But we're talking about future-oriented stuff. We're talking about trying to get back together and desperate to see each other. It sucks that we're separated in this bad situation. I can show you the text, like, can't imagine my life without you. God, I fucking miss you. I mean, these are like exact quotes, She gets back to town. We go on a date. And I said it was awkward, but we were holding each other. We're holding hands. There was a future orientation still. We're going to spend a lot of time together and work this out. That's what we had decided to do. And that was last Monday. It gets really strange from there, and it makes me suspicious. And maybe I'm just paranoid. But then on Tuesday, she called me at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And she said, I walked out of my house. We were going to see each other that night. And I say, okay, I walked out of your house. What are you going to do? I tried to get a key, but I probably need a locksmith. I said, oh, well, I'll come out and we'll just hang out on your front porch and have our date there. And she's like super sweet and friendly, and it was like everything was okay, actually. She was like, I would love it if you would come keep me company, see in a little bit, calling each other baby, this kind of stuff. When I showed up to yoga, and it ended up that she got into her house, we went to yoga together instead, and we just met there. When I showed up to yoga at 7, something was completely different. She was gone. I mean, and that might have been just her talking to her friend and says dump him and she decides it and that's it. It may have nothing to do with your case. But I would be really curious to know, if I was you, who she talked to between 3 and 7, because something happened where I seem to be irrelevant all of a sudden. And this is after 15, 16 days of her wanting us to, let's just work this out. It just turned in a second. And then it gets a little stranger from there, actually.
And this was Tuesday preceding the 18th?
Exactly. So
At what point did she send you the email?
That was that night. That was
memory.
that Tuesday night. That was Tuesday night, which I suspect was already in her head. Because
well, that may have been she immediately came to a finalization that she was going to do that.
She may have. I mean, I don't want to make this all about me. There's bigger things here. But I did notice some things. I mean, so she's done with me, right? Okay. I'm looking at her. It's not right. Something's wrong here. I walk out to the car, and it's really awkward. Small talk, I can tell she thinks she's done. But she asked me if I was going to be here this weekend. Now, she's done. Why does she give a shit if I'm here Friday? She asked me directly, are you going to be here Friday? And I I said, maybe it's up in the air. And it wasn't up in the air, I just didn't want to seem desperate, and I was just going to stay here and not take my trip if Wendi was willing to see me, is what that was about. But she said, but she was really interested. Oh, why is it up in the air? Oh, because, at his end there's a thing. Oh, okay, well, okay, talk to you.
And this was prior to her sending you the email?
Prior to sending me the email, and the last thing I ever heard from Wendi, last words I exchanged with Wendi were, are you going to be here Friday? I just thought you should know that. It may mean nothing, but it was kind of strange to me. And then the no contact order was also kind of strange to me. Usually you would just send someone an email and say, hey, I need some time to think. She was very strict about that no contact thing. It was almost like she didn't want to be in front of me. I just busted her for
Well, she probably didn't want you to try and talk her out of it.
Maybe. I don't know.
That was my thinking.
Maybe. Or maybe she knew something was going to go down and didn't want me in front of her, because I read her pretty well. And I just busted her on a whole host of lies,
Okay.
This part sounds crazy speculative. I just wanted to give you the information. So that struck me as kind of strange. Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. This was just weird. This is just stuff. Have you seen this picture? Probably seen it in the media accounts. I mean, if you look at that picture, my friends that I don't have kids. My friends that have kids show up and said, look how narcissistic that picture is. Who looks good in that picture? Not Wendi's kids. Wendi. And this comes out Thursday night. She changes this.
This is the one that you said she was taunting you with, or whatever.
Well, maybe.
Or you thought she
my
was.
other friend, the other speculation in the community, which is not for me, is like, Wendi looks good, but this is a Photoshop picture. Her dad does photography stuff, So she looks way better than normal in this picture. If you knew you were going to be all over the media, that's how Wendi would want to look. So that may sound crazy to you, but just something to think about. I mean, when you want to picture your kids look good. There's other pictures in this photo set where the kids looking at the camera and are smiling and look great.
Right.
So it's just weird. And I'm not trying to do your job for you to be like an FBI profiler, but it was a thing.
Right.
And that one of the last things would be, it still is, I don't want to be the disgruntled ex-boyfriend, but it's really strange to me that she's never contacted me. It's very strange. We were co-parenting for 6 months.